The jury has a lot to consider as they decide whether Stephen Casaus is guilty of beating to death his 9-year-old stepson and whether he intentionally failed to get Omari medical help. News 13's Lizzie Mitri has been following this trial since the beginning.
The jury spent hours today discussing the case until about 5 this afternoon. But before they got started, they heard closing arguments from attorneys on both sides.
And you see that Stephen Casaus doesn't care.
The prosecutor replayed video from December 2013 telling jurors to get a good look at stepfather Stephen Casaus' lack of concern for 9-year-old Omari Varela as he's dying. Attorneys defending Casaus pointed to that same video, urging jurors to focus on Omari's sister.
She's standing there right next to her dad. She seems fine. She doesn't seem afraid.
Jurors will decide if Casaus beat Omari to death.
That he acted part and parcel with his wife, Cynthia Varela Casaus, in the kicking and the punching and the beating of Omari.
The defense says Omari's mother acted alone.
The state has their killer. The state has the person who did this, but they want more.
Jurors also must decide if Casaus is responsible for Omari's death by intentionally not getting medical help. Casaus never called 911. His wife did, and prosecutors said today that was 3.5 hours after Omari was hurt.
He didn't do anything to render aid to Omari as he lay there bleeding internally.
The defense says Casaus told his wife to call 911 while he tried to help Omari.
Shower, CPR, at least his attempts at it. Certainly we can't hold him to the standard of medical personnel.
Prosecutors say police caught Casaus in several lies.
Let me just ask the question, okay? Let me just ask the question.
They say the only one without a motivation to lie is Casaus' daughter, who testified that she saw her mom and dad hurt Omari. But the defense says that's not what she said initially, that 1.5 years of talking about it with investigators and a therapist passed before she implicated Casaus. Today, the jury listened quietly, but soon they'll have the final word on what really happened.
Now, you are the sole judges of the facts in this case.
On top of Casaus' more serious charges, the jury will be deciding if Casaus burned and bruised Omari within that month before the 9-year-old died. They're also looking at whether he intimidated his kids who witnessed the death and if he tampered with evidence by cleaning Omari that day. Lizzie Mitri, KRQE News 13.
The jury will continue deliberations starting tomorrow morning. Stay with KRQE News 13 for complete coverage of the Casaus trial. We will be in the courtroom when the jury reaches a verdict, and we'll bring that to you on our KRQE app.